Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? My voice is fucked.
Oh my God. Maybe I should just do it. That's ridiculous.
And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly.
And no Tyler this week.
Nope.
Tyler is gallivanting across the country and having a fun time. We miss him, but we have a very special guest with us. We have the Marcus.
Hello.
Not Marcus from the movie, I know. But we have a Marcus expert who is also named Marcus. Marcus Lau is here with us.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, man.
Of course.
Appreciate you. We appreciate you. And I'm excited to talk this week about one of our check-ins that we like to do.
Yes.
Just this past weekend, Bad Boys Ride or Die hit theaters. The fourth Bad Boys.
Saving cinema.
Yeah,
maybe.
Literally.
Yeah.
In the process. Apologies again. I've got a daughter and sometimes things hit my throat. So my voice is messed up.
Okay. I sound fine.
Yeah, Elis sounds great. And you know what? That means that before we go any further, Elis, where can people reach out for us?
Yes, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights. We have all the episodes up now on YouTube, and I'll say the Tyler part. Rate and review us on all of the platforms, because 5 stars or a thumbs up or whatever it is on a different platform goes a long, long way.
It sure does. We love it. We need all the support we can get from you guys.
Yes.
And so we can keep, doing these check-ins throughout the year and bringing you guys new franchises as well. So Marcus, before we even hit play on the trailer or anything, just curious, what is your relationship with the Bad Boys franchise?
My relationship is I knew the song.
Okay.
That was my introduction to this series.
Hey, that's it.
So like when we added you onto the A-list entourage, what were you expecting?
I was expecting to hear the song. And
you did?
I was very excited when they teased it and then it came.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't really know what I was expecting. I was expecting buddy cop movie.
Okay.
It delivered everything I expected.
Okay,
and
cool.
more.
I was curious if you knew that it was like such a big action franchise too. Like,
I didn't know that it had such a big following. I didn't realize that it was such a big thing, and they're really diehard fans of this franchise. And I didn't know there were 4 of them. This was the 4th one either.
It really does have that sequel DNA. They love to bring back a joke or a person or whatever.
Yeah. And it was very apparent to me when I watched the previous one.
Yes, Bad Boys for Life, which is not the 4th movie. Huge mistake. I know. Okay, so that was the 3rd movie. Missed opportunity.
Huge missed opportunity.
But yes, you watched that after watching
Ride or Die, and I was like, wow, the formula works here.
Yeah.
I get why it's so popular.
Yeah, we had fun talking about that one too.
Yes.
All right, well, why don't we dive into our discussion on Bad Boys Ride or Die?
Hey, Reggie, did you eat my snacks?
No, sir.
You ate my snacks, didn't you? You need to get a job.
I'm a U.S. Marine, sir.
Well, then you need to deploy.
Dad, look.
We now have evidence that the late Captain Conrad Howard of Miami PD was working directly with drug cartels for years.
Captain Howard's being framed.
Let's go.
What the hell?
He's texting us from the other side.
No, he's not, Marcus. If he's seeing this, I'm probably dead.
Fuck! Fuckers! Fuck them all! I don't know how high up this shit goes, but don't trust anybody. You're my bad boys. Now clear my name.
You should be careful. You're being set up, detectives.
All right, you're my bad boys. You guys are my bad boys.
Is it annoying to you to hear them say Marcus the whole movie?
No, you get used to, because I don't know. It was weird when I heard Taylor Swift say my name.
Right. Yeah.
But weirdly not in this movie.
Okay.
All right.
I don't get it that much. You do, Justin, but I don't. I
Yeah.
think people don't like to put my name in a movie because it's too long.
Too many syllables.
So unless it's a historical thing, they're like, eh.
Yeah, that's true.
Period piece.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point. And we do, as we know, we get lots of Tylers too.
Yes, we do.
Even though he's not here,
We love to make a Tyler clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Bad Boys for Life premiered a few years ago and pretty much like blew the box office up, did really well. We're back here with number 4 in kind of like an interesting time in the entertainment industry and box office performance and stuff. So there's lots of questions going into this. You know, it's kind of like we're in a post-slap world.
Right. So it's so funny because I watched this whole movie and I did notice that Martin Lawrence slaps Will Smith at that one scene, but I wasn't really thinking about
No,
the
I
slap.
wasn't
And then
either.
when I got home, I saw these headlines that were like, Bad Boys references the slap in this way. Oh my God. And I was like, what? Like, oh my gosh, I guess? Like, but it just made so much sense for him to slap him right then anyway that I really wasn't thinking about the slap at all.
I think the crowd reaction was pretty wild for just like a regular slapping moment.
But it was also just funny.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess.
funny and sad because
But
he
I-
was clearly having a mental health crisis.
right. But I do think that it was like clearly a thing that they're commenting on in the movie.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't know how else you would take it. I guess obviously,
Yeah.
like, it makes sense for that character to probably slap him in that moment or other times.
Well, and he has been on a parade of like post slap, things to get people to like him again this entire time, pretty much, but especially leading up to this movie, since I think the only movie he had was that Emancipation movie, which was on Apple anyway, so it didn't really matter. But this one, like, he's just like, they made sure that they got the whole family at the red carpet, like every kid and Jada, and then they have him doing all these interviews being like, oh, I just want to, everyone to like me again and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I love Will Smith in these movies, including this one, and I think he's
he's funny and great, and it's like, how can you be mad at him really about the slap at this point when it's like, no charges were brought against him, like if Chris Rock was like out there saying like, I still feel like, and I'm gonna sue him and blah blah blah, then you'd feel more like, oh, I need to support the victim. But he's just kind of like moving on, and
it's just like
he had his punishment. He can't go to the Oscars for 10 years or whatever. No gift bags.
Oh, did they really ban him for 10 years?
Yeah, just from the ceremony.
Okay.
But he's still in the Academy, and he didn't have to give his award back.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's still eligible to win.
Yeah, he's eligible to win. He just can't go.
He just can't go.
Yeah. He's not winning for this movie as much as as fun as it was. It's not going to be getting an Oscar nomination for him.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I feel like, in the moment, the slap thing was like so insane and like crazy. But now I just look back at it like, as like just kind of like, it's just like an outrageous pop culture moment. Like, everyone's moved on, like whatever. I don't know.
It's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, for me, what more was referencing it was the fact that like his character is like having like mental health issues this whole movie and like coming to terms with like, oh, I need to go to therapy. Like I'm having a panic attack. I need to acknowledge it, and stuff like that. One thing, so I also, like Marcus, went and watched Bad Boys for Life yesterday after we saw this movie. And one thing I had forgotten is that Alexander Ludwig's character, I forgot his name, the blonde guy. So his character in Bad Boys for Life is like obsessed with going to therapy and keeps bringing it up. And because his whole backstory, which I also completely forgot, is that he was a bouncer and there was a guy beating his girlfriend and he punched the guy one time but it was so hard that the guy died.
Oh, God.
And so then he had to go to therapy and then he became a techie cop instead so that he wouldn't have to fight people. So then when Will Smith makes him fight in the final battle, he's like, I'll pay for your therapy if you help us in the final battle. And the guy's like, okay. And then he does it. And then in the big finale, he's like, we should all go to group therapy, guys. And Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are like, nah. So it's like his whole thing. And even in this movie too, when they say, Mike married his therapist, he's like, oh my God, that's so great. I'm so like, and then Vanessa Hudgens like, no, it's his physical therapist.
Yeah, that was funny.
So that dude is obsessed with therapy. So hopefully he helps Mike on his journey after this movie. But yeah, that was more, I felt like, in conversation with like Will Smith's public persona than that exact slap. But
Okay.
yeah.
Fair. Excuse me.
But yeah, a few other things just from watching Bad Boys for Life, because I did not rewatch it before going to the movie because I was like, I'm sure I'll remember everything. And then I got there and I was like, oh, I don't actually remember any of I had no idea that his son was going to be back in the picture again. And then the whole movie, I was like, well, what did the mom look like? I don't remember the mom at all. It was Kate Del Castillo.
She was a witch.
Yeah, she was a witch, a bruja, right? But and not really. I mean, she was just doing like witchy kind of stuff. Yeah. Like burning things and, saying a bunch of prayers under her breath. But yeah, she was the mom. And it was this whole thing where Will Smith was undercover. It was before he even met Marcus and barely had met Joey Pants. He was undercover. He fell in love with her, got her pregnant, didn't know, turned her in, and then she kept the baby and passed it off as the drug lord's baby. And then the whole movie was her trying to get revenge on all these people, including Joey Pants, who got shot. And he got shot as his granddaughter's basketball game, who is a completely different granddaughter that was Latina in the last movie. So in the last movie, I guess they were like, yeah, Miami, his daughter must have married like a Latino guy. And so they had this Latina girl that he was coaching in basketball, but now she's very, very white. Yep. And Rhea Seehorn is her mother.
Yeah, I liked how this one is such a like direct continuation of the last film, and I saw a lot of reviews like around it that was talking about how like this is the film that finally takes it to like a Fast and Furious level of like interconnectivity.
True.
And like all these characters returning and new people coming in and they're like retconning weird things and which I thought was kind of fun, to be honest, and yeah, I enjoyed the story beats that we get in this movie a lot, as well as the action. I think like there's early on, we're kind of just going through the movie. We have Will Smith's character's wedding, and then there's an action sequence really early on where Marcus gets shot, and like we immediately get this insane sequence of him like. Or does he get shot? I can't remember.
No, he has a heart attack.
That's why
Yeah. Will Smith got shot in the previous movie a bunch of times.
Sorry, he has a heart attack on the dance floor.
Yeah, he has a heart attack on the dance floor.
And we get this insane sequence of him like falling into water and then like being, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
It was crazy. No, they haven't done anything like that I remember.
It was like a crazy, like he went into the Wakanda Forever.
The astral plane. Oh my God, he totally did.
And has a conversation with Joey Pants, and I was like, what is even happening in this movie? But I'm totally on board for it. Because I just feel like there's so much crazy stuff happening.
And I love that that joke went through the rest of the movie of him not being able to die.
Yeah.
I love that they kept with that. Like,
and him constantly being like, now, I wasn't going to tell you this, but like, in a previous life, you were a donkey, and I owned you. That's
so messed up.
Donkey hooves or whatever.
Like I was, I feel like from the trailer for this movie, I was worried that like Martin Lawrence, I'm like, everyone's getting old. I don't know. But he's just still so fucking funny.
He is funny. When he was at, I want to say it was the last Emmys when they did like a reunion of Martin on the stage. I was like, oh my God, he looks so old. How is the next Bad Boys going to happen? But I don't know. He must have just been in a bad mood that day because he looks great in the movie.
Yeah. He didn't seem old at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't miss a beat. Like every line I think is just like gold. Honestly, his delivery and everything is just so funny.
Yeah. And him having that heart attack, spurs all this stuff with his family. That moment that's in the trailer. It's so messed up to tell a Marine who just got home, like, well, you need to deploy, you jobless loser. Like, that is the most messed up thing ever. But he says that to his son-in-law. And then also the one character who is recast is his wife. The previous actress, I can't recall her name right now, but she, like, no one really knows, but, like, she may be unwell or kind of retired from acting. And so they replaced her with another actress who's like friends with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and she was pretty good. And but the daughter, Bianca Bethune, and then Reggie, Dennis Green, McDonald Green, they are the same, and they've been the same since they were like little teenagers. So it's super funny. It's great what happens with Reggie and his just non-expressive face. I don't know, Marcus, what were you thinking at this point in the movie?
I was thinking, I loved how like that this, although it was an action movie, it was like almost just as much a comedy.
Yeah.
And how funny, like the dialogue, like even though you had an action sequence, like it was like 50% of it was just Will Smith and Martin Lawrence talking shit at each other.
I know.
Like in hilarious ways.
It's like an action version of like Grumpy Old Men, where there's like these two old dudes just like shouting insults, like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, cut that fucking shit
There's like
out."
gunfire, people getting stabbed and like decapitated in the background, but no, you're just focused on whatever shit they're
Martin
saying at each
Lawrence
other.
trying to eat jelly beans and drink Kool-Aid or whatever that was. Yeah. Oh my God. So funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you talked a little bit about the death sequence or whatever, but just some of the like directorial choices that the directors made this time around was just like super cool. And there was some cool things in the last movie, like since I just did rewatch it, but nothing to the like level of creativity that is in this movie. Like the jelly bean thing, there's so much like gun POV, like
It felt like a video game at one
The
point.
POV. There's not only gun POV, but like there's just a ton of like insane POV shots.
Right.
Like when they're talking to Fletcher and he's like so tall.
Yeah.
And they have these shots of like Martin Lawrence looking like he's only like 3 feet off the ground talking to him. It's so funny.
They really just put the whole I mean, Bad Boys was always famous for that circular shot of them shooting and standing in the sunset, standing by the car or whatever. And they do
Classic
that
Michael
and they
Bay.
take it even farther. Like they circle around every object practically in this movie. And it's like very cool. Like you don't really get sick of it. You're just like, oh my God, that's like totally different than the last one. This is amazing. Like that's amazing.
There's like there's that whole scene, I think towards the end where there's like a drone that flies through like as the action sequence. I mean, it's like clearly, I think it's shot with a drone, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a whole choreographed action sequence and you fly around the whole room and see what everyone's doing. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that shot in, was it Infinity? No, Age of Ultron, I think it was. Remember they're in that like temple and there's like a big fight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like you can see all the Avengers fighting together and you're like you're like a drone flying around the room and you're seeing everyone's fight. It just reminded me of that. I don't know, I thought of that.
That's a good one.
Well, and these guys are in the Adil and Bilal are in the Marvel universe because they did Miss Marvel.
That's right.
Oh, I did not know that.
And not Batgirl. Ooh.
That was another thing I saw. Lots of people online like, I don't know how they could have made an unreleasable Batgirl movie after seeing Bad
Right.
Boys.
This is so cool. It just makes no sense that another thing they made could be that bad.
Yeah,
So,
I will forever
We'll
be
never
baffled
know.
by that.
we don't believe you, Zaslav.
But yeah, this movie, like every action sequence, it's just like kinetic and electric and exciting and like showing you something new every single time, and you're just totally along for the ride. And I like that it gives you the sense of like, yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen next. Like any sort of crazy camera movement or throwing a gun around, anything could happen.
Yeah, when they passed the gun to each other, that was incredible.
Follow the gun.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, we mentioned that Armando, Mike's son, is back in the picture because, and I didn't even remember there was an after credits scene where Will Smith goes up to him in Bad Boys for Life and it's like, hey, do you want to work off your, debt to society or whatever? So they've been consulting him on stuff, but they basically like, well, it wasn't their fault. They basically broke him out.
of
Yeah,
prison,
yeah, I guess, okay, so
Not
we
on
should go back to
purpose.
talk about McSteamy because
Yes, Eric Day.
our dear friend Eric Dane from Open Water 2. He's part of our anniversary image because he was the most famous
That's
person
right.
in the Open Water series. So I put him in there. But yeah, Eric Dane is like a real psycho bad guy. He did a great job. Like we see him shooting people point blank in the head, like immediately. The first time we see him.
Yeah, that introduction scene for him is so, you like, there's a moment where you're like, oh right, this is a rated R movie. People getting shot in the head. Him like killing that like girlfriend.
The
who's
girlfriend
there.
for no reason, yeah.
Oh man, that was a really great villain introduction, I think. And he's just totally unhinged, and he's like a one-track mind of like, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna cover up this up no matter what. Whoever I gotta kill, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And he's all beefed out.
The financial crimes too is the whole thing is that he needs this guy, this finance guy, to put in like these fake payments that were going to Joey Pants, but he he doesn't even make him do it. Like in most movies, they'd sit there and be like, okay, do this thing. But this is like, we don't even want you to do it. Just open the computer and my guy is going to come in and beep, 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 boop, boop, and do all of it, you know, and then we're going to kill
password.
you. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, and then he shoots that bodyguard who's already dead. I was like, ugh, that's so gross.
not cool.
Yeah, I don't know, it was very gross. But he's a great villain in this.
Yeah. And they also introduced Joey Pants' daughter, who's Rhea Seehorn. And it's so funny because, you know, in the movies, when you're watching it in Dolby or whatever, their face is huge on the screen. And I was like, she kind of does look like she could be Joey Pants' daughter. Like,
I can see
they
it.
look very similar, but she was great too. You know, after all of the drama of her not getting any Emmy nominations for Better Call Saul, I was like,
I'm just glad to see her.
Yeah.
Anytime she shows up.
absolutely.
But she plays a U.S. Marshal. So very quickly, you know, we find out that it's all over the news that Joey Pants
Was a dirty cop.
has been has all these offshore accounts with cartel money, blah, blah, blah. And it becomes like this whole joint task force thing. And she gets brought in because she's a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah. How do you feel about Pepto-Bismol, Marcus?
Are we doing a Pepto-Bismol ad?
No, I hate it when people drink Pepto-Bismol in movies. And Joey Pants, this is like a thing of his character. I don't know.
I mean, I take the tablet form.
You do? Okay, I never
If I
take
need
it.
it,
I
I
can't,
take-
especially the liquid one. I will just
chewable?
I would taking the liquid one would make me puke more than actually puking. Like when I was little, I would be like, no, yeah, I don't drink Pepto-Bismol. But yeah, in Problem Child, they also drink Pepto-Bismol, and I remember being very disturbed by it.
I get disturbed by when people drink Pepto-Bismol without dosing it out, and they're just like
Yeah,
chugging
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, well, Joey Pants, he mixes it with like whiskey or something.
yeah. Okay, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, and that's a thing he's done in every movie. So I was just like, ooh.
You're like, no, thank you.
See, even from the grave, he's still doing it.
That's so funny when he's like, he's texting us from the other side.
Well, so it's like, no, you
No,
idiot.
he's
Like,
not.
It's not possible. And he's like, maybe I saw him in heaven or wherever he
true.
was. Yeah.
I mean, if you like died briefly, what to heaven, wouldn't you be super disappointed to see your boss? Not like your parents,
Yeah.
your grandparents,
Yeah.
Jesus, you know, like the angels. You're like, oh, my recently deceased boss.
Yeah, well, why are you the one telling me that
I
it's
mean,
not my
even though
time?
they love him, he was a beloved friend as well as a boss. It's still just like, oh my God, there was nobody else to.
I think I heard you laugh when they showed that they had his portrait up at the.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
At the
it was
wedding.
so big. It was gigantic.
And it's like a goofy face of
It
his
was a
face.
huge picture. It was like they were having it stand in as one of the groomsmen almost. This
Right.
gigantic portrait. But yeah, that made me laugh. We do. Well, it's funny because Michael Bay's cameo in Bad Boys for Life was that he was the wedding DJ, but this time he's back to being a dude that's honking at them for walking around in the street.
Because didn't he drive? He had a cameo in like
in the second one,
right.
I think. Yeah.
Didn't he have a cameo
Maybe the
driving
first
a car
one.
in Transformers 2 or something?
Oh, in Transformers.
One of the Transformers movies.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Because I feel like we've seen him like in a car like that before in one of these movies.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
trying to drive.
I'm
here.
driving here.
I'm driving here. I'm Michael Bay. No, I don't know.
Yeah, there was that cameo, and then there was the cameo of that TikTok guy.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I forgot his name, but
I don't remember.
it
his
was
name
so
either.
funny. The shrugging guy, that was really funny. I feel like people laughed really hard
Yeah,
at that. 'Cause
the audience in general was like pretty hyped for
that
this
guy
movie.
just has like a great face, even
just
if
has
he
a
wasn't
face
famous.
that's like,
You would probably would have laughed at that moment
Yeah.
because you're like, "Wow, what's with that guy's face?" Like,
so funny,
not
like-
in a bad way. Just it's very distinct.
Years from now, like someone's kids will be watching that and be like, "Who are we
is
supposed to know that?"
Yeah.
Because they linger on him, and he's like,
Yeah, maybe he'll be like a freaking nightly news anchor by then, for
Yeah.
all we know.
"That's true." Who knows? Who knows? So I guess everyone's trying to figure out what's going on here. The boys are bad boys.
Yeah.
Are getting texts from Joey Pants explaining that he's being set up.
Yeah. And then they go to that guy's
They go to Fletcher's.
Fletcher's And he's from some of the previous movies.
Yeah, he was in the original 2 of films,
Okay.
I believe.
I just thought that, like, even though, you know, there's lots of great action later in the movie, this was definitely my favorite sequence because of, like, the color and the jelly beans and just these, they have, because it's like an art space. I don't know, have you ever been to Miami? Like, it's all about, like, Art Walk and, you know, whatever that thing, Art Basel, and, like, all these galleries everywhere. And so just having these, like, giant tanks of colored liquid all over the space and all these projections. Every single tank got shot and then splurted different, like, brightly colored liquid everywhere. The jelly beans are flying. There's lights everywhere. I just thought it was really cool. You know, to me, that's like a little bit more exciting than out in the, you know, Gator Land or whatever, even though that was also amazing. But just visually, I really liked this. I really like this sequence. Yeah, with those tanks.
Yeah,
So.
and we get, and this was fun where Martin Lawrence is really like, I can't die, so I'm just gonna go out, shoot everybody. So funny.
The one thing that bothered me there was when he hid the secret text on the other side in the QR code,
Right.
in the artwork. I'm like, why would? But that anyone can record that video. I was like, what?
Yeah, but would they be able to slow it down the way that
true.
Vanessa Hudgens
That's true.
did? Okay.
That's
I was
true.
like, why would you choose? Why would you not choose a more?
That was just a really funny scene. He was like,
just like-
what was he saying? Like, I hid it somewhere.
In plain sight. He kept like,
And he was like, you crick your neck one more time like that.
stupid Martin Lawrence. Vanessa Hudgens is back in this movie with Alexander Ludwig. They're dating now.
Yes.
Oh, they're dating in real life.
No,
In the movie.
in the
Oh,
movie.
in the movie.
Yeah, they were not. So in the previous movie, Ammo was introduced. It was like this secret side, you know, group with Paula Nunez, who's back in this movie. She was the boss, and then it was Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, and I totally forgot it was Charles Melton was the third guy, and he was like the himbo guy who was like kind of sparring with Will Smith, and Will Smith was like, just because I fucked your mom doesn't mean you're my son, or whatever, you know, like, or just some stupid thing like that. But yeah, so he was like the himbo, and then the other two were there, but he's gone. I mean, they must have been shooting and May and or December, you know, so he was too busy. But them two are back, and Ammo still exists, but it's like it's just have two people. You can still call it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still there to be like the techie people that can do things. But in the last movie, they had Vanessa Hudgens like dressing up as like a bottle service girl and coming out and like, you know, being undercover. This one, they're like, no, we're not gonna make her do that. She's just here. Like
She's only ever fighting her hat.
She was in a robe in their house. That was it.
Right,
But yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
they never were like, put on this silver bikini and come out with a flaming bottle of champagne or whatever.
Yeah,
So-
I love that they've like continued to kind of like build out this team, and now it's like it's more than just those two. You know, obviously we got Marcus and Mike together, but now we've got a whole team.
Yeah.
And like by the end of the movie, they're all fighting together, and it's really
Right,
fun.
right.
It's really fun to see.
Oh, and in Bad Boys for Life, Will Smith did make a joke about High School Musical. He was like, "All these young people, this is like High School Musical over here." I was like, "We're huge High School Musical fans." Just so you know.
It's too funny. Too funny. Let's see. What else?
Oh, Fantastic Four.
Oh my God. Yes. Mr. Fantastic is here.
Yeah, and he's dating the chief of police, and he's like running for mayor.
He's also running for mayor, which was immediately a red flag for me.
Well, also just him being a human was a red flag. I was like, oh, that guy's in the movie? Well, he's the bad guy.
He's gotta be the
He's
bad
dirty.
guy.
Come on. Okay, like he just looks like such a basic, like, evil. And I feel like he has been in other movies, not Fantastic Four, but there's other movies where he ends up being the big bad.
villain energy when he came
For
on screen.
sure. Yeah.
It was pretty obvious that he was going to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he was. We eventually get into this whole like crazy, like this insane, like I think maybe my favorite part was the like helicopter sequence when they're transferring Armando to like a safe place or whatever, and of course Eric Dane and his gang are like on the on the helicopter somehow.
Yeah.
And I just love the shots of it, like, excuse me, tossing everyone around and like.
Well, and this
just-
poor kid's in a I mean, he's a criminal, but he's in a cage.
Yeah.
Literally in a cage flying around this plane. Like, it's just very upsetting.
It just was like, I wonder how they shot that because, it's like the camera is flying all over the place with him. It just looks so cool.
Well, and for Eric Dane as a villain and his team just be offing like random military dudes is like, this guy's, because he was in the military. Yeah, but he's like really lost it. He's just like killing, anyone. So it's unfortunate. And you really start to realize like he's insane. So, he also puts out a hit on them to all the local gangs.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how we can get a Tiffany Haddish cameo, which I had no idea about. She goes on a long rant about how she wants Will Smith to go down on her.
Oh, my God. That was so funny. So funny.
And Martin Lawrence is basically saying, just stick out your tongue and close your eyes.
It's like you don't gotta do nothing, just lay down with your mouth open.
Oh God. But it was even funnier because immediately after that scene they go outside and all these gangs like come and attack them, including DJ Khaled, who if you don't know about this, Google it, safe search, but DJ Khaled famously does not give oral sex to women. He only receives oral sex from his wife as an obligation. He has said this in the media publicly. You can go look it up if you want. But yeah, so that was even funnier that was immediately after. And he was in the last movie and Will Smith hit him with a meat tenderizer a bunch of times on the hand. And so this time he came back and he was just like, I'm still mad about last
the hammer.
movie.
Remember when he hit me with a hammer? Yeah. And then
but
he gets
interestingly,
brutally killed.
I didn't see it in the credits for this one, but in Bad Boys for Life, he is credited as like executive music producer of the whole movie. But it's like, you have the single cards and then you have the whole cast list. And even before the stunt people, before the rest of the crew, it's not a card, but it's a single line that's executive music producer DJ Khaled, and then like keeps going.
I feel like I remember that.
So maybe he didn't do it this time, but he just had a little cameo, but it was very noticeable in the last movie. But yeah, he gets killed. He gets crushed between a truck and another truck, right? It was
and
crazy.
Then he gets lit on fire.
Yeah. And I was like, bye.
Totally dead. But I love that kind of like John Wick type moment. Like now all the gangs are happy.
Right. Or Anchorman, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it was more like.
Any of those things, yeah. It's just so funny. They're all like, ooh, $5 million.
I didn't know that Tiffany Haddish was going to be in this movie. Did you?
Only in the opening credits I saw her name.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice.
I noticed in the opening credits.
But she was really funny.
Yeah.
For that short moment.
Only she could talk to Will Smith like that.
Oh my God.
Even in character. Like, I'm like, who would talk to him like that? Oh my God.
There's just so many times where I kept going like, oh my God, yeah, this is getting really raunchy. And like, oh, wow, this is a rated.
And then the next line out of her mouth is raunchier.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, yeah.
She like wasn't even joking.
No.
Oh God. Yeah, it was great. But
she hit on his son on the way out or something, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
You ever get out or whatever, right?
Yeah. Can't find me.
Too funny. So yeah, where do we go next? I mean, the whole time every time we see Eric Dane like strategizing, he's in this abandoned gator room, and I was like, what is this room?
I thought he just really liked gators or something.
I was like, why is there a giant gator in his command HQ? And then they reveal it's an abandoned gator park, which, I mean, we love theme park content, so it was great.
I just love the reveal of like, yeah, they're literally like looking it up on Wikipedia or something. Like, what is this place? And Martin Lawrence is reading about it, and it's like, oh my God. It's like he's reading about there was a like 50-foot albino alligator named Duke, and some people say he still lives there.
I gotta say, the albino alligator, like there was one time I was at a zoo, I think it was in San Francisco, like there's an albino alligator in this tank and you like are above it, and I was like mesmerized by this, like something about the albino-ness is so off-putting in the gator that I just was like, oh my God, this thing's incredible. Like I was staring at it for like 20 minutes, I think, because I was waiting for someone. But still, when they came, I was like, you guys see this thing? Like, it's so cool.
This was just another moment where I was like, I can't believe this movie is going here. Like,
right, it's going to that Kristen Stewart movie practically.
Yeah, like you don't mention this giant albino alligator if someone's not going to get eaten by this alligator, and I can't believe that this is about to happen in this Bad Boys movie.
Yeah,
things are getting insane. But basically, they capture what's his name? Lockwood, I think. They capture him and kind of use him as bait to try to get back some hostages because they had taken Rhea Seehorn's daughter
and Will Smith's wife.
Will Smith's wife, yeah.
I have to say though that the scene with I can't remember her name, Paula Nunez, the captain. And the scene where she's in the elevator and they both like realize, oh shit, you know I'm dirty and I know that you know kind of thing. It was really upsetting because it was like very, very violent, like partner. Like this, she was engaged to this guy.
Yeah.
And it was so violent and he was like slamming her head into the glass.
I thought she might die actually.
Yeah, it was really, really scary. Like it like hit me different than all the other violence in the movie because it was just like a man and a woman in an elevator and like
and
it's
just like
scary.
Is another scene where it's like they had no reason to do all this all crazy, but they were like filming it in such a way where like you were seeing through the wall of the elevator.
Yeah, it's like a glass elevator.
So you're seeing like her face get squished up against the wall.
It felt like it was kind of like something that could happen in real life.
Like, I think that's why it was like so disturbing to me. And well, I mean, and I totally think it's good that they were like, we're going to give her an insane action scene. She got him back like, tenfold throughout the rest of this movie. But just watching that scene, I was like, I can't watch this. Like it was very uncomfortable. I guess.
We also forgot to mention Reggie's big moment.
Yes. So they find out that people are going to their house and they
hack into the Ring cameras.
They call Reggie and they're like, Reggie, 15 guys are coming to the house. Like, you need to protect your wife. And I didn't see the little kid in the scene, but apparently he must have been there, like the son.
I didn't know.
Was he in the closet with the...
He must have been, right? They wouldn't just left him in his room during this, would they? I don't remember seeing him, but
I think there's only the two ladies in the closet.
Yeah, well, so she's pregnant, but she already had a kid in the last movie. Right. But yeah, they're just in the closet, and he just goes nuts and kills literally like 15 guys.
I just love that they're like watching it like it's a I don't know, like it's a TV show or something.
Right,
they're like,
right.
Oh shit, Reggie, behind you, Reggie. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, and I mean, they got really lucky. He doesn't even know his son-in-law that much because he was saying this stupid shit to him earlier. Like, and not every Marine is like that. I mean, many are, but many are not. Many are like doing computers and like counting the supplies. Okay, so it was just like.
I think it was also like funny because the only time you ever see him too is like he's like playing video games,
right? Or sitting on the couch.
Like, oh, maybe he's playing like Call of Duty all the time too, or something.
Right.
He was playing video games right before they attacked him, right?
Yeah. He was. Yeah, he's just always playing video games. I thought that was a great moment, and then that was so funny. He salutes the camera, and they're like, "Oh my god, you see that shit?" I'm like, holy crap!
When he saluted, that was so funny. Well, and I did like that they showed that he very responsibly has his guns in a locked safe, and he beep beep boop and gets them out, and nothing crazy. And oh my god, he just goes to town. Yeah, they would have died if he hadn't been like so.
Yeah,
oof, or got captured at least. But it's just so funny.
That was great. That was a great moment. And it's paid off well at the end of the film as well.
Yeah, I saw another article that was saying that actor, he had finished shooting, he had gone home to wherever he lives, and then they called him and were like, we need you to come back for like one day to shoot one more scene. You're going to end the whole movie. And he's like, what? They're like, yeah, we're going to end the whole movie on your face. He's like, what? Like, this guy's like, only acted in these Bad Boys movies. He was like a teenager at a community center that saw a flyer like, do you want to be in a Bad Boys movie? And they picked him for his like expressive face because the very first time you see him, he's coming to pick up the daughter for a date when they're like little teenagers, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence just rail into him like, we're going to arrest you, we're going to fuck you up, you better not break her heart, you better get her home by this time, blah blah blah. And he's just like, yes, sir. Like, he doesn't make any facial expression. So, yeah, he hasn't really acted anything else. But he was like, I can't believe they ended the movie on, like, me smiling. I've never smiled before in the movie. Like, But he was also then saying crazy stuff. Like, yeah, me and Armando should be the new Bad Boys. And, like, we'll just, like, call Will and Martin when we, like, need advice. And, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, man, calm down. But, maybe. Shit.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So everything converges on the abandoned alligator land or whatever, and we get some pretty inventive. I mean, there's tons of. This is like a really long action sequence.
Oh yeah,
tons.
Well,
of
and you
stuff.
have like the team kind of split up. Different. You have Armando saving Callie. which he needed to do for his character so that her mom would stop trying to kill him. I'm sure that's why Will Smith was like, you go here. If you save her, maybe you'll live. You know? Like,
oh my God.
But
intense.
then the rest of them are lots of crazy
I love
stuff.
that. I love that the ammo guys flying a drone around and they literally just like drop a
bombs
bomb on a dude. So funny. But yeah, this is kind of like this is where a lot of the gun POV stuff was in the scene, I think, which was really cool. And there's like you can go online. I've seen some clips on Twitter and stuff of like the crazy rig that they basically made this rig that kind of flips the camera around and it's on like a rail or something in front of Will Smith. It's like attached to his back and it like flips around, and it's really, really cool the way they shot that.
It just really, there's just so much, like we can't even say it all because there's so many cool shots. And like, it's funny how like when Challengers came out, we were all just talking about like this one tennis ball POV. This movie has like 12 things like that, you know. And
there's a keyboard typing POV.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, there was one where they were watching security footage and then it zoomed in and transformed into the real house. Yeah. That was the Reggie thing, I think. And I was like, oh my gosh, like how have we not seen that in every movie? It was so cool. Like
lots of fun stuff. Very inventive filmmaking, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of like, you know, everyone, all the bad guys die.
Yeah. And all the good guys live. We didn't lose a single one, did we?
Did we?
I don't think so. Not this time around.
Not this time. Joey Pants still dead.
Still dead. Rip. He wasn't magically alive somehow.
No. Maybe we need a Joey Pants prequel or something.
Yeah, maybe.
DH him.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so Rhea Seehorn forgives Armando and lets him escape because he saved her daughter's life. So he is off in the wind. We don't know what's gonna happen to him.
He doesn't. He just like drives a boat off.
Yeah, he escapes.
Yeah.
Will Smith's wife survives.
Yeah, everyone's good. They're at a barbecue at the end. There's no post-credit sequence or anything.
Nope. We stayed too.
Yeah, we did stay. You gotta stay.
Always.
You gotta stay.
So separates us from the animals.
That's right. Even though we're usually oftentimes the only people left in.
Well, this one, I mean, I'm sure we could talk about this. There was people smoking in the theater,
God.
like cigarettes, not even like marijuana or vapes,
Yes.
you know?
I was like, how is this happening?
It was crazy. And it was Dolby. Oh, another thing about it being Dolby is even at the beginning of the movie, the seats were like shaking from the bass. Like so, and we've seen tons of movies in Dolby, and I don't remember noticing it that much. Like it was just.
It was like, the music, and then also like anything there were gunshots, it was like insane.
Yeah. So is this 4DX?
It was kind of cool, to be honest.
No,
It was very immersive, I guess.
Yeah, but in the Dolby, the wall behind you is really tall, so you can't look back and shame the people for smoking. Yeah, be like, who's doing that? Yeah,
I was just like, if they're sitting by someone, how are they not like, what the fuck, bro? Like, stop smoking.
Yeah.
But,
it's the bad boys. I don't know. That's probably not even picking up on the mic, but yeah,
I think
sirens.
it is because I think I'm hearing it in the headphones.
Oh, you are? Okay.
But,
so, Marcus, how do you feel now that you're part of the bad boys hive?
I will be looking forward to the next one.
I was gonna say, would you see another
Bad
one?
Boys 5 Eva?
Five Eva. Yeah.
It's a crossover with Girls 5 Eva. You know what I was thinking, though? Because these Bad Boys movies take place in Miami, but this one we moved really like further out into the backwoods. So I'm like, what if it was a Bad Boys Roadhouse crossover?
That would
like
be
Roadhouse 2 was Bad Boys 5.
Roadhouse 2? What if Roadhouse 2 is Bad Boys 5?
Yeah. That'd be like
that sounds like something a crazy person would say. But
it sounds like something an amazing studio executive would say. Somebody who loves money.
Yeah, seriously. Love it. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or you want to just dive into the rating system immediately?
I don't know. What were your other thoughts, Marcus? Anything else?
Thoughts from me? No, I really liked it. Yeah, I agree with everything we talked about. Yeah, crazy, cool shots. More of that. More gun POVs.
Yeah.
In the future, please.
Do those directors have anything else on the docket?
Let's see if they have any upcoming projects listed on Wikipedia.
Yeah, because I'm excited to see.
It'd be crazy
what they
if,
keep doing.
like, two rated, like between this and Deadpool, 2 rated R movies like top the box office this summer.
Oh man.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything specific.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everyone is so gung ho to support them after their Batgirl disaster.
I know, yeah. It's crazy.
Of course, of course they do that to these like brown guy creators too, not just like,
I know.
how many movies do they put out from white directors?
It's just so insane to have like the Batgirl thing happen sandwiched in between like these two pretty awesome Bad Boys movies. So then everyone in the public, if they're even aware of like, any of that stuff, it's just like, what?
Like, how bad could it be?
Like,
that
was it really that bad?
Right.
Like,
And I think Ms. Marvel is like definitely
problem?
one of the more well-regarded Marvel shows as far as the visuals anyway, so.
It's just like, what was the real problem here? What happened? I'm forever curious. But, I don't know.
One day there will be they'll come out with a
Someday
tell-all.
we'll know. Yeah, seriously. I don't know. Tyler usually does the rating systems.
He does. Do you have one? You wanna do
Trying to think. How many
hot dogs from the gas station or
Oh,
the
yeah,
liquor
yeah,
store?
there- yeah,
How
there
many
you go.
liquor store hot dogs
how many
made
day
yesterday?
old
Yeah.
liquor store hot dogs? Yeah, would you give Bad Boys Ride or Die?
That was so gross.
That was very gross. And he was like,
was like-
relish on it.
He's like licking his lips. Daled.
Oh my god. There was a lot of product placement in this movie too, by the way. A lot of Doritos.
Yep.
A lot of Skittles. They didn't mention a specific brand of jelly beans, just that
No, just-
the black ones are gross, which
Yeah.
everybody knows
Duh.
that. But yeah, many Doritos were present in this, and then the ginger ale was branded as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God. I mean, I feel like I feel like giving it a 10 is crazy, but I just can't think of anything to like really knock it for. No, actually, okay, I'll give it a 9 because I want more Vanessa Hudgens always, and that one scene did like weird me out. The partner violence. Yeah, it was just a lot. Like
elevator
it was
attack?
very graphic. Like I'm glad she got revenge, but it was just like, oh, this is like maybe too much. Like,
Yeah, that was rough. A little bit rough.
so yeah, 9 old hot dogs or fresh hot dogs rather.
That's right.
One day
Quote
fresh.
unquote fresh hot dogs.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'll also give it 9 day old liquor store hot dogs with no relish. I don't like relish.
You don't like relish?
Don't like relish.
Do you
Sorry.
like pickles?
Pickles, yeah, not relish though. I don't know. It's like
Marcus loves
just
pickles,
gross.
fried pickles.
I love pickles and I love relish as well. So
fair.
disappointing to learn that.
I'm so sorry.
I'd rather have relish than pickles.
Oh wow,
I know
I'd rather
you
have
don't like
pickles. I
pickles.
guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, the movie was great.
This has been Pickle Talk, our new pod.
Yeah, going into this, I didn't know what to expect. Like, obviously, I enjoyed the last one. I had like heard a little bit that maybe this one was going to be like that they had designed it to be a little bit funnier, and I would agree. It's like pretty hilarious. I was like laughing throughout and just like having a blast at the theater, and honestly, that's like something I was missing from a lot of movies lately. That are just like there's movies that are like good, and then there's movies that are fun, and this was a really fun one that's also good. So I don't know. I highly recommend that people go check this out. Marcus, what about you?
How many day old liquor store hot dogs?
It's out of 10. And honestly, like you have nothing to compare it to, so you can give whatever insane rating you want.
I give it 8 day old liquor store hot
All
dogs.
right.
I think because I really didn't know anything about this, my expectations were pretty low.
Yeah.
In. And I was like, I was expecting something like more on like a Transformers level of just
God.
like stupid action
yeah.
movie.
Stupidity, yeah.
Just stupidity.
Fair, that's fair.
Like CGI and just stupid. But no, this was a lot of fun. Just like a good time at a theater. And yeah, like that's what going to the cinema is all about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
I would say too, one thing that we didn't really have to deal with. I mean, yes, he was like, he had a heart attack and almost, death moment. But the last movie was so focused on like, are we going to retire? Are we going to keep working? Blah, blah, blah. Because they didn't know if it was going to be successful or not.
Right.
This one, they're like, we're going to keep making these till y'all are in the grave. So there's no more like worrying about like, oh, are we gonna keep doing it? Are we not gonna keep doing it? It's like we're gonna keep doing them.
Yep.
Even if you're in a wheelchair, being like, go fight, shoot that guy over there. Like they're gonna keep shooting these forever.
They've reached Fast and Furious level of production.
Yeah, and you can still do all sorts of crazy things. You still have Gabrielle Union in your back pocket to bring back at any moment, and you got Charles Melton now, like bring him back. You know, they just all sorts of stuff.
I feel like, and I kind of feel like Will Smith like can't afford to not do these movies. Well, I mean, like,
it's not like Gemini Man 2 isn't coming anytime soon.
It's one of his more successful characters that like people still love, clearly, and like, we're recording this after this weekend, and it was like it outperformed its expectations because everyone was kind of like going in thinking like, oh, it's gonna be another bad weekend at the box office, and then it did pretty well, like the second best opening of the summer, I believe.
I think like word of mouth might help it too. Like people being like, it was so freaking fun. And
it's like, do you want to see Will Smith just like having fun and being in a role that like,
and like Martin Lawrence is not exactly like, putting the butts in seats either on his own, but like them two together and these characters, like, oh my God.
There's just the chemistry between them.
Yeah, the chemistry is great. And it's like, at this point it's really benefiting from like, oh, we've been with these characters for like, some people like most of their lives,
Yeah, it'll really be interesting because I feel like if they lose these directors, if they go on to bigger things and they don't want to do another one, then that's going to be a big moment of like,
that's
okay,
true,
is it still gonna? Because of the last two movies, like their involvement has also helped like so much. Like you're not gonna bring Michael Bay back at this point because this is not the kind of stuff he's doing. It
would be great if they could come back and do like one more and make it like a trilogy or something. An unofficial trilogy, I guess. But that would be great. I would totally go see another one, and I can't imagine they got to be discussing it already. I would think.
Oh my God! I'm sure they were discussing it before they even finished shooting.
This one came out so fast, like it was 4 years later.
Much faster because the last one was like what 10 years in between 2 and 3. Something like that.
Good question. I don't have the full.
Last one was 2020, right?
No, Bad Boys 2 was 2003,
and then
it was 2020 for Bad Boys for Life.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah, almost 20 years. So it was a
amazing.
long time.
Yeah.
And those movies feel wildly different when you go back and watch the original.
Well, how about the it's gonna be like Bad Boys, but it's just gonna be like Vanessa Hudgens and Reggie, and they're like, we don't care about gender anymore. It's just bad people.
Bad people for life.
Bad babes or something. Yeah, let's do the all female Bad Boys.
Babes.
Yeah.
That sounds
Sounds like a parody.
I don't know who's producing that. Yeah.
I'm just saying she should be the star of it.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, they've got a whole host of characters they can pull from.
Absolutely.
And it would be great. They got to bring Gabrielle Union. Would be great.
Yeah, she needs to come back. Gabrielle Union played Marcus's sister in the second one, and she had a romantic thing with Will Smith. It didn't work out. They kept referencing it. So.
And she had her own spin-off TV show called LA's Finest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's probably going to bring us to the end of our discussion of Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Yes. We need to know what you would like us to do next.
That's right.
So please email us with your suggestions for other franchises we should cover. sequelrights@gmail.com. We got the fall coming up, the rest of summer, maybe a Halloween kind of horror thing thrown in somewhere, as we like to do. Or continue all animal year. I don't know. We want to know your thoughts. And also reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube @Sequel Rights. And while you're on any of those places or anywhere you get podcasts, be sure to give us a high rating or share a favorite episode with your friends. Or go back and listen to Open Water 2 Adrift if you love that Eric Dane content.
Yeah, we're not quite out of check-ins for the year. There's one more coming in the fall here, but we're out of check-ins for the summer. There's still lots of sequels coming out. But none that we've already talked about the franchises.
Well, we could do something real old, or who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
So we're open to suggestions. Definitely shoot us an email. And Marcus, thanks so much for being here with us. Hope you had a good time.
I did have a great time. Thanks for inviting me.
Yay!
That's right. All right. Well, as we like to do. Oh wait, before we go out, I gotta say also thank you to my brother for the music.
Marcus's close personal friend,
Yeah.
Jordan Camps.
My favorite Camp's brother.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shout out.
Thank you for our amazing theme song.
All right, and to close things, as we've been doing lately, we'd like to have an AI song lead everybody out because we don't want to be using all this copyright music and get in trouble later or whatever. So this week's is just called. I made it easy for everybody. It's just called "Bad Boys Ride or Die," and it is allegedly supposed to be reggaeton song, but energetic reggaeton, but it is not.
It's
quite
energetic.
that. It's energetic, but. The AI, I tried so many things to get it to sound like the music from the movie, and it just would not quite work. So this is the best we got, okay?
Oh my God. Okay, we didn't even mention there's a Reba cover of Bad
Oh
Boys
my
in
God.
this
Oh my
movie.
God, yes.
I almost
They
forgot
made
to mention
the Reba
it.
joke.
Tremors
and then they did it.
star Reba McEntire covered Bad Boys for this movie. And it is in that scene that you've seen in every single trailer. So, yes. Oh, thank God I remembered.
That's an incredible moment,
Yeah.
even though I missed it because I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But you know what? I listened to the song later and it's really good. Anyways, so yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed our discussion of Bad Boys Ride or Die. Enjoy the now AI generated song of the same title. And we will see you guys next time for whatever we're covering next. Have a good one.
Miami nights, neon lights, and the city's alive. Will and Martin in the ride, ready to thrive. Detectives on a mission, danger in their eyes. Bad boys for life, you know they can't compromise. The cartel's game, a twisted plot. They framed Joey Pants, left him to rot. A captain caught in a web of lies. Mike and Marcus know they can't compromise. From the streets to the skyline, they own the night. With a bond unbreakable, they're ready to fight. The last bullets fly, they stand side by side. In the heart of the chaos, they never hide. Bad boys ride or die through the fire and the pain. Living on the edge, driving in the fast lane. No one's gonna stop them, they'll always defy. In the world of the fearless, it's ride or die. A comic relief, a moment so blunt, can't forget the scene.